The Cask of Amontillado, made by Jannah Abdullah, Haneen Al-Hafidh, and Aitan Ali. Summary of The Cask of Amontillado. The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe is a story that talks about two friends, Fortunato and Montresor, where Fortunato was in the end buried alive by Montresor. The story is about a man named Montresor who seeks revenge on his friend Fortunato, whom he believes insulted him. The story is narrated by Montresor, where he tells of his plan to kill Fortunato. Fortunato was involved in an Amontillado deal with Montresor. Montresor tricks him into believing he has acquired a wine that could pass for Amontillado, and needs his dexterity and extensive knowledge of wine to verify its authenticity. His love for drinks contributed to his weakness that Montresor took advantage of in planning to kill him. Instead of tasting the Amontillado, he was led to his death and buried alive. Themes of the story. First theme is revenge. The main theme of the story is revenge. The whole story is about a man named Montresor who seeks revenge on his friend, Fortunato, whom he believes has insulted him. He tricks him into believing that he has acquired a wine that could pass for Amontillado, and needs his dexterity and extensive knowledge of wine to verify its authenticity. Instead, he leads him to a catacomb and buries him alive. Another theme is foolishness. Extreme foolishness can cost you your life. Hence why Fortunato died. It was because he was extremely foolish. The moment he heard that Montresor had wine that could pass as Amontillado and wanted to taste it for him, the only thing he could think about was the Amontillado. He let Montresor get him very drunk, not caring nor thinking about what's happening, and only thinking about the Amontillado. His foolish acts are what led to his demise. Another theme is hypocrisy. Montresor's hypocrisy shows by his taking advantage of Fortunato's weakness and lying to him. The author uses verbal irony, dramatic irony, and situational irony to show that Montresor becomes a hypocrite in his mission to get revenge. Montresor is the ultimate hypocrite in presenting himself to Fortunato as a friend, when in reality he hates him. Montresor says that he cares about Fortunato, when in reality he doesn't. He says that he cares and he doesn't want to get him hurt, when in reality he plans on killing him. He seeks revenge, but the honorable and honest way of achieving it, in the context of the time and place, would be to challenge him to a duel, or at least to confront him openly in a less violent manner. Instead, he feigns amiability and takes advantage of the drunken state Fortunato is in, to surprise him and kill him when Fortunato has no chance to defend himself. Self-delusion. Montresor appears to be under the delusion that his murder of Fortunato is just, and perhaps even that Fortunato has wronged him at all, while Fortunato is under the delusion that Montresor means him no harm. We don't even know if the insult that Fortunato has delivered to Montresor are even worth killing him. We do not know if Montresor is actually doing the right thing. He killed Fortunato based on an insult that could have been insignificant. The reader does not know. Montresor might be mentally unstable, and is definitely under the effect of self-delusion. Betrayal. The Cask of Amontillado explores themes that deal with death, morality, revenge, betrayal, torture, and even alcohol. Fortunato deals with betrayal when his friend tricks him into drinking a lot of wine and leads him into a catacomb just to lock him in there and leave him to his death. Techniques. Foreshadowing. The first technique used in the story is foreshadowing. The 1,000 injuries of Fortunato I had borne as I best could, but when he ventured upon insult I vowed revenge. This is the first line of the story. Montresor makes it known that he wants revenge in the very beginning. Irony. There is verbal irony in Fortunato's name. His name means fortunate one in Italian, but he's not fortunate at all. He is the victim of the story, and he gets buried alive in a catacomb. Another irony in the story is Fortunato's costume. He was dressed as a court jester. He was dressed for a night full of fun, which contradicts his horrible fate. The story had a dramatic irony in the beginning. because in the first line, Montresor makes it known that he is going to take revenge, which leaves the readers on the edge of their seat the entire time. Imagery. Edgar Allan Poe uses imagery in the story to create suspense. Poe creates a suspenseful, horrifying, creepy mood by using imagery. Edgar Allan Poe does this in two ways in the Cask of Amontillado. First, he has the narrator Montresor describe visuals. The second way Poe uses imagery is when he has the characters to describe things. An example of imagery in the story was, drops of moisture trickle among the bones. I felt the cold, steamy breath of death on my neck. This imagery appeals to the senses, sight, hearing, and touch. Poe also uses powerful imagery to help the reader experience the catacombs. Flashback. The technique used throughout the whole story is flashback. At the end of the story, it was revealed that this story happened 50 years ago, and that Montresor was recalling that story. Symbolism. The wine in the story symbolizes hatred or anger that we allow ourselves to build up. The Amontillado in the story symbolizes death. Montresor's mask and cloak symbolizes his concealed identity, and Fortunato's costume was a symbolic representation of what he was. He was dressed in carnival garb and wore a motley with a conical cap and bells. He was dressed as a fool or clown. Plot diagram. Exposition. Montresor feels that Fortunato insulted him and declares revenge. Rising action. Montresor and Fortunato were walking through the catacombs, and Montresor is giving Fortunato more wine. Montresor makes Fortunato want to keep going and to get him drunk. Climax. Montresor chained Fortunato up and began to break him in. Following action. Fortunato screams and laughs, thinking it was a joke. Montresor continues to break him in. Resolution. Fortunato is dead. Montresor has achieved his revenge. Character analysis. Montresor. He was proud, fought for revenge, intelligent, mentally insane, prideful, strong, strict, tricky, deceptive, and a liar. Fortunato was dumb, alcoholic, wealthy, easily deceived, overjoyed, oblivious, and foolish.